Covarrubias, and we filmed in all these places. We actually had a kind of a bizarre...
At 95, Clint Eastwood stands at a place few ever reach, not just in age, but in legacy. The noise of Hollywood has faded into something quieter now. The premieres, the box office battles, the headlines, they matter less. What matters more is time. The people who stayed. The people who didn't. And the lines a man chooses to draw when he knows the final chapter is closer than the first. Long before the legend, before the squint and the gravel-edged voice that would define American cinema, Clint Eastwood was just a big baby born in San Francisco in 1930, so large the nurses nicknamed him Samson. He grew up during the Great Depression, moving from town to town as his father searched for steady work. School didn't fit him comfortably. He was rebellious, restless, often in trouble. But that stubborn independence, the refusal to bend, would later become his trademark. After high school, he drifted through odd jobs and survived a near-fatal plane crash during his Army years in the Korean War era, swimming to shore after the aircraft went down in the Pacific. That kind of experience changes a man. It teaches him that time is borrowed. Hollywood didn't embrace him overnight. Bit parts. Rejections. Small television roles. Then came Rawhide, and America started to notice the tall, quiet cowboy with the steady stare. But it was in Italy, under director Sergio Leone, that Eastwood transformed into myth. The Dollars trilogy, A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, introduced the man with no name, a gunslinger whose silence spoke louder than dialogue. He returned to America not just a star, but a symbol. Then came Dirty Harry, Inspector Harry Callahan, the .44 Magnum, the line that echoed through pop culture. But beneath the tough exterior, something deeper was forming. Eastwood wasn't content being just the gun. He wanted to hold the camera. With films like Unforgiven and $1 Million Baby, he stripped away the romance of violence and replaced it with consequence. These weren't stories about invincible men. They were about regret, about aging, about the cost of who you used to be. The Academy Awards followed, but by then, the real victory was artistic control. Off-screen, his life was far messier than any script. 2 marriages, 8 children, overlapping relationships, headlines that refused to fade. From Maggie Johnson to Dina Eastwood, from private heartbreaks to public feuds, Eastwood lived with the same intensity he brought to film, direct, unapologetic, rarely explaining himself. And then there was the clash with Spike Lee. In 2006, Eastwood released Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima, 2 films examining World War II from opposing perspectives. Lee criticized the absence of black Marines in Flags of Our Fathers, arguing that their contributions were overlooked. Eastwood pushed back, insisting he was telling the story of a specific historical photograph. The disagreement became public, sharp, and symbolic, about history, representation, and who controls the narrative. Time cooled the feud. But something about it lingered. Now, at 95, after the loss of longtime partner Christina Sandera in 2024, Eastwood speaks about mortality with clarity. And reportedly, he has drawn one final boundary. When the day comes, there is one person he does not want at his funeral: Spike Lee. Not for spectacle. Not for revenge. Simply a line drawn by a man who has spent nearly a century deciding who belongs in his story. Because when you've lived through rebellion, survival, reinvention, scandal, acclaim, love, loss, you begin to understand something about endings. Funerals aren't about public image. They're about closure. And Clint Eastwood, the man who built a career on controlling the frame, intends to control his final one too. What do you think about the Eastwood-Spike Lee feud? Was it artistic disagreement, or something deeper? Let me know your thoughts below.